The black man was shot in the stomach the next second, just for pushing a white police officer. The police officer was stunned on the spot, but because the man was black, he didn't immediately call for an ambulance. Instead, he searched the black man's entire body, and despite his partner's attempts to stop him, he forcibly handcuffed the man. Once he was sure there was no threat, he finally realized the man had already stopped breathing. The incident was reported by the media and caused a major uproar. The victim's family demanded that the officer be severely punished, but there had long been tension between black and white communities. And on top of that, the officer was the son of a high-ranking official. He bribed the officers who were on duty that day to falsely claim that the black man had pulled a gun first, which was why they opened fire in self-defense. In the end, the judge ruled him not guilty and released him. Watching the smug expression on his face, the victim's younger brother could no longer hold back his anger. Although the younger brother avenged his brother with his own hands, he now faced prison time himself. He thought that would be the end of it. But once the white police officers learned that one of their own had been shot, they began targeting black gang members all over town. This only escalated the already tense conflict between the two sides. One day, the white police set their sights on two more black men, not knowing that another tragedy was about to unfold. One of the black men was simply speaking loudly, which caught the attention of a passing white officer. One of them stated he was also a police officer, but the mustache cop didn't believe him. Instead, he insulted and humiliated them. The older black man had no choice but to return to his car to get his badge. But the officer mistook this for an attempt to flee, and immediately pointed his gun at him. Despite the older man's desperate explanations, the officer pulled the trigger anyway. The two shots left the black officer unable to move, fearing for his life. He raised his gun and fired back in self-defense. The mustached officer dropped to the ground on the spot. His partner nearby started cursing in shock, yelling that they had targeted the wrong person. Both men were rushed to the hospital. Fortunately, the black officer hadn't been hit in a vital area and managed to survive. But the mustached cop wasn't so lucky. The bullet had struck his heart and he couldn't be saved. The next day, the mustached cop's father stormed into the police station, fueling more resentment from the white officers toward their black colleagues. Thankfully, the police chief was a man of integrity. He didn't judge anyone based on skin color. Instead, he stated that the incident still required a full investigation. His words left the angry father speechless, who turned and stormed off. After being discharged, the black officer immediately cooperated with the investigation. The investigator asked for a full account of what happened. The officer didn't hold anything back, explaining everything in detail and emphasizing that it was self-defense. But another white officer from that night made a false statement. His name was Avery. His previous partner had been killed by a black man outside the courthouse. And now his current partner, the mustached cop, had also died at the hands of a fellow black officer. He harbored deep hatred toward black people. To seek revenge for his partners, Avery lied, claiming the black officer never identified himself, and falsely accused him of pulling his weapon first, which supposedly forced the mustached cop to shoot in defense. Although the head of the investigation welcomed Avery's statement, Avery insisted this was the truth, leaving the lead investigator without options. The two conflicting accounts brought the case to a standstill until the investigation reached a conclusion. The black officer was temporarily suspended. He was deeply frustrated by this, but fortunately, the police chief trusted his character and promised to ensure justice would be done. The chief's sincere words helped calm the officer's anger, but the deaths of two white officers in such a short time intensified racial tensions even further. White officers started arresting any black person who looked remotely suspicious. The media report sparked a major public reaction. Some black gang members wanted to retaliate, but one girl stepped in to stop them, arguing that retaliation would only escalate things and that they'd be the ones to suffer in the end. At the same time, senior police officials, fearing further unrest, demanded that the truth be found quickly. The pressure now fell entirely on the head of the investigation. His wife, who was also black, urged him to handle the case fairly and not let innocent people suffer injustice. Meanwhile, Avery accidentally slipped up. He admitted that it was actually his previous partner who shot first. His current partner quickly reported this to the investigation lead. That night, the lead investigator went to Avery's favorite bar and confronted him outside the restroom. He asked Avery to tell the truth, but Avery refused to admit anything. Instead, he cursed out the investigator. Enraged, the lead grabbed him and slammed him against the wall, stating that he already had all the evidence. Left with no other option, Avery finally confessed everything. Their conversation was recorded. After listening to the audio, the team unanimously concluded that the black officer acted in self-defense. At last, he was cleared of all suspicion. But while the case was resolved, the deeper issue of racial prejudice remained unresolved. There's still a long way to go. Alright, that's the end of today's story. See you again tomorrow.